We thought that as summer's coming to a close, you may have had some of your summer travels, or maybe you're looking to fall and holiday travels coming up. And so, how do you veganize travel? We thought, what better person to interview than the co-founder of VegVisits. So it is a site that focuses on vegetarians and vegans and travel accommodations. So if you wanted something like an Airbnb, you want a little bit more of a homey feel as opposed to a hotel, you might go on to VegVisits and take a look at the accommodations, because it would be either in vegetarian or vegan homes. So that way it's aligned to your values. Also, you can hear directly from Hogs Kisses board members as well as our volunteers on tips. How do they veganize their travel? So you can hear from people who have really done it to get some ideas. And we are so excited that we are actually opening up our own B&B here at Hogs and Kisses. So you'll get a quick sneak peek and a tour of that also. So join us for this lovely episode of how you can veganize your travel.
Hi, welcome, Linsey. Thank you so much for talking to us on Beat Around the Barn.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
So you are a co-founder of VegVisits. I was thinking that maybe it'd be a great place to start where you could give us an idea of what VegVisits is, maybe your mission, what you're out to accomplish, so that everybody can get acquainted with VegVisits.
Yeah, sure. So basically, we like to describe VegVisits just an easy way is the Airbnb for vegans and vegetarians. So all of our hosts are either vegans or vegetarians, but pretty much anyone can travel, even those who are just curious about the vegan and vegetarian lifestyle. So similar to Airbnb, we have listings that range from private rooms in apartments and homes to entire vacation homes, cabins, yurts, campsites. Really, we have yachts, so it's a range of accommodations that are on the platform now, and we are right now in 80 countries across the world, and we have about 1,000 hosts. So that's kind of where we are right now, and yeah.
Okay, yeah. And what started this? How and why did you want to create a vegan vegetarian Airbnb?
Yeah, so my husband and I, we were working on Wall Street, and we decided that we didn't necessarily our lifestyle didn't agree with our values and kind of what we wanted to do in the future. So we quit and we decided to travel across the country. And we were vegan at the time, and we were staying at hotels. And we were spending a lot of money every night staying at a hotel. And the hotel environment, for anyone who has worked and traveled a lot and used hotels, it's they'll be the first to tell you that it kind of gets old very quickly. It's kind of a cold environment, and you don't really feel that comfortable, like that home sense of feeling. So it kind of got old after a while, and we had heard from a friend about Airbnb, and we were kind of skeptical at first. We thought it was like, oh, should we really be staying at a home with a stranger? It's a little weird, but we decided to give it a go. And we just really fell in love with the whole experience of staying with a local, being able to support a local instead of like a big hotel chain. And it just felt more like home, so to speak. So we had our own kitchen, which we loved because we were vegan, and sometimes we just didn't want to eat out. And we had long conversations with hosts, and we really enjoyed getting to know them. And we just felt like we had a better overall understanding of the area because of staying with a local. So we just love the whole concept of home sharing. But it wasn't until when we stayed with a vegan actually that
Mm.
that it just kind of like fireworks went off, because it was just such an amazing experience just from the start. It was like when we got there, we just felt as though we were meeting a long lost friend. The connection was just like immediate. And we just had so much fun just talking and reminiscing about our experiences as being vegan. She was able to give us like all these tips on where to go to get the best vegan food. The refrigerator, we didn't have to worry about opening it and like finding like, you know, gross stuff. And we didn't have to worry about, bacon cooking in the morning and pork, cooking at night, and um, steak, and hosts asking if, why we don't eat, meat, and it like, which is fine for one day. But if you're on the road, or if you do work hard during most of the year for this one vacation, you don't you want to really feel comfortable where you are. So that's why we decided that this platform had to exist.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. I love that. So it is opening up so many questions for me now, right? So, okay. So now you're traveling yourself from your own experience. Now you go, wow, I love this home share idea. Okay. I'm going to apply the whole vegan vegetarian part of things because it just made such a difference to you as that kind of a traveler, right? And with that dedication in your life. So then you now set out to create this platform. And then from there, like, how did you find the accommodations that were vegan? Like, in other words, the hosts, right? And like,
Mhm.
and was it easy because maybe some of them advertise that on, say, Airbnb or other places? And then how did you go about like confirming if they're vegan or vegetarian or so forth? Like, how did that all come about,
Yeah.
the process of that?
Yeah. So we set up a landing page, and we invited all the vegans and vegetarians to come. We advertised through social media, and we tried to connect with as many vegans and vegetarians as possible on Facebook and Instagram. And we invited them all to put down their emails and indicate whether or not they wanted to just travel or if they wanted to host. So we got uh, an insane amount of interest. And so we were just like, wow, that this is really going to work. So when we developed the site, we reached out to them and we told them, like, you know go for it, create your listings, and we're going to launch in a few months, so take your time. Um, and that's kind of how we found our initial group of hosts.
Okay, so then on the flip side, okay, so we know that people who are vegetarian, vegan, veg-curious, what have you, could, look and see, gosh, are there vegan accommodations for me out there? I'm going to travel, I want to find that. So that is certainly a niche, right? On the flip side, is there any challenge to that, being that there's really, such a defined lane? I know that, travel trends are probably, coming at you. But I'm just wondering, are there challenges to it, or is it really all because, veganism and plant-based eating is on the rise? Is it actually, just at the right time, right place kind of endeavor,
Yeah,
or what do you say?
we well, definitely a challenge for anyone who starts a business in a niche market. They'll tell you that, the minute that you start to cut down the market into a smaller, more defined group, the more of a challenge it is to grow, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of hosts will say, will compare us to Airbnb, and we'll be like, well, I'm not getting as much activity. And it's like, yeah, well, we are a niche market, and it takes a lot of time to grow,
Mhm.
to get to the point where they are seeing the amount of activity as a host on our platform as compared to Airbnb. but that being said, it's just that much better of an experience for us. We just love working with vegans and vegetarians. Our hosts are all amazing whenever we reach out to them, and we just enjoy it so much. So it definitely has its benefits, but is it a challenge? For sure.
Mhm.
The trends are definitely towards not only just staying at vegan accommodations, but also just wellness retreats and
Mhm.
and vet like people who are veg curious, wanting to stay at a vegan accommodation, especially on VegVisits, because they get to see someone who's actually living the lifestyle. And so it's so much easier to become a vegan when you can visualize, okay, like I can do this, you know, they see someone actually doing it on a daily basis. And so we've had a lot of interest with other people coming on the platform and saying, okay, I want to stay with a vegan, you know, I want to see what it's like. So and then you also have those people who, because of COVID, because of everything, have been stuck inside, and they really need a retreat in order to kind of boost their immune system and just you know, get better again and find themselves again. So you're seeing a lot of trends towards, you know, wellness traveling and of course like staying at vegan accommodations. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that because as we are preparing a bed and breakfast room here at Hogs and Kisses Farm Sanctuary, I really love the idea of that. People coming to see what does it, what is it like, you know, to live as a vegan, right? And but then also to live on a sanctuary, right, as well. And
Right.
what are the day-to-days, and you know, what is it like for farm chores, but you know, the animals and their space and how they're kept, and you know, just different things like that. So I love the idea of making that accessible, and or somebody who is veg curious, then normalizing, right, the life of a plant-based eater or a vegan, and making that, you know, accessible. I love that idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So great. Okay. So then we've been talking a lot about hosts, right, up until this
Mhm.
point. So then with the traveler or the guest who's looking for an accommodation on your site,
Mhm.
certainly we understand, right, vegans or vegetarians would be on there and so forth,
Mhm.
and they'd be looking for a place to stay. Are there
Mhm.
any other things that they can find or be matched with, you know, on your site?
Yeah. So right now it's just accommodations, but we'd love to add experiences at some point. Um, But right now, if you were to search for a location, let's say, you don't necessarily have to stay at that location to want to reach out to the vegan there and say like, oh, hey, like you want to meet up for some coffee, or every listing has a section where it says favorite places. And so they'll list out like all the vegan restaurants, some really cool hangout spots, some cool like vegan clothing stores. So you can always kind of check in on VegVisits and see what listings are available and see what they say about the area, because when you're passing through, it could be just a fun resource to have. Um, that being said, also, when you do stay with a VegVisits host, on their listing, it'll show if they have any additional services. And I would say, wow, I would say like 80% or something like that have at least some service that they like to provide to guests. Mo- Most of the time for an additional fee. So either like meal preparation, you have cooking classes, nutrition counseling, you know, massage therapy, um, Reiki, Pilates. I mean, I've just seen everything, and it's just so great because not only are people able to, you know, stay at a vegan accommodation, but they're also able to have all of these other services too that just bring their trip to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah. That's, we want to make sure we include, you know, meet and greet with our animals for, right, our
Mhm.
B&B when we're ready to
Yeah.
list it, which, by the way, we are hopeful to open up to the public, maybe summer. So summer of 2022, this coming summer. And yeah, meet the animals, have a whole kind of just education about that and where they come from, their stories, right? How we care for them, and have that be included in our stay. But like you're also saying, connecting with all of the other local businesses would be great. And I think big one for us is that, you know, the bed and breakfast will be technically separate from the sanctuary in that it's a for-profit business. However, we will have it where a majority of those proceeds are going to go to the animals. So I feel like people who would be on there and see, you know, a sanctuary or something like that might go, oh, wow, okay, now not only am I having an accommodation that's aligned with my values, but also too, then the proceeds will go to helping rescued animals also.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see that, but I would imagine, yeah, some places, right, cooking classes and different things that they might do.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we were wondering too, we may end up popping up a little fire pit and do some vegan s'mores or something
Oh,
too.
cool. Yes.
Yeah, that's like a little accommodation or something.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so great, because if I think to my own experiences as a traveler, both my husband and I are very dedicated to learning about other cultures. We speak other languages, right? So travel is the thing that we actually value. We don't think of it just as, say, a luxury. So anytime that we've gone and done some traveling, I'm always having to look, okay, where are those restaurants? Okay, where to stay now? Where, you know, right? All of that, and you're piecemealing. So it is nice to be able to come and get community information other than the actual accommodation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, awesome. And so what are, you know, trends to staying right now? I mean, I realize COVID probably has put a little bit of a crimp in that, but I mean, I don't know, are vegan, vegetarian, veg-curious accommodations, are they on the rise? And are we seeing more of that? People are asking more for it?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot of demand. Now vegans are kind of demanding that they not only have they have an accommodation with options.
Mhm,
It's just not okay anymore for there
mhm.
to be, like, you know, a garden salad on a menu, and you know
Right.
that's it. But unfortunately, you know, the hotels are kind of lagging in this area. But where kind of veg visits differs from, let's say, you know, veggie hotels, say they have a lot of vegan hotels and a lot of vegan bed and breakfast on their site. It's a great site. We've used it before. But where we differ is the 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 fact that vegans and vegetarian locals, um, whatever, even if they have just an extra couch in their shared space, they can list it on VegVisits. So it's really, it really kind of fits the need for people who don't have the budget of being able to spend money on a vegan luxury resort, which are popping up in different places around the world, but they're incredibly expensive. So we kind of wanted to kind of be able to accommodate those people who still deserve to have a vegan accommodation, but just can't afford those prices. So um,
Yeah, love that. Right. That the demand is there so much that other than just hotel focus, we now have, okay, come join the shared spaces, and that they're all at different price points so that it's accessible
right.
to everyone. Yeah, that's really great. Really great. Wow. Well, so then, you know, VegVisits, I imagine, is going to continue to need to rely on feedback from both, right, customers and hosts and things like that. How important is that, you think? I would imagine pretty important for people coming to visit the site and such.
Oh yeah, reviews is
Mhm.
everything for our
Mm.
platform.
Mhm.
They're very, very important, and we always tell hosts, if possible, that when they create their listing, make the price super low, and get a few really, really good reviews, and then put the price to where it is that you want it,
Mhm.
because uh, um, listings with a few good reviews do a lot better than listings with no reviews. So. We use the reviews also. They're kind of a cross check to make sure that that hosts are keeping a vegan kitchen when they say they have a vegan kitchen, or a vegetarian kitchen when they say they have a vegetarian kitchen. So we kind of like cross check the reviews just to make sure, but we've actually never had a problem so far. But yes, reviews are very important.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's really great. It's because I still even find it a challenge. I am not fully surrounded by people in my life who are vegan vegetarian, right? Obviously, there's a wide gamut of people in my life, from, meat eaters to even hunters and, things, right, that are in my either social circle, family, circle, what have you. And a lot of times, like, they'll forget, when they come over, or if they have, a leftover sandwich that they're eating, and so it does, I'm sure, get pretty interesting on how to ensure that host and site stay vegan and vegetarian.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time we don't have a problem. We do review every single listing that comes through the site, just to make sure. Sometimes, you'll have a vegan who will have a meat eating roommate, and they'll think it's okay to list, and we just kind of have to tell them, like, sorry, but unless your roommate doesn't eat in the kitchen, which we doubt, you can't be a host. But other than that, we don't really have too much of an issue. It's not too hard to monitor, but we do keep a close eye.
Yeah. Oh, that's really great. Well, I just absolutely love VegVisits and what you all have started. I think it's really great. Yeah, and really important, because I think it does bring together people with aligned values. So we definitely love and support what you're doing, and hope that it continues to continue to see success. And then, of course, with us, our B&B room, we'll want to also host as well on VegVisits. And coming up, actually, we're going to give you a little bit of a bonus tour of our B&B and a bit of the area, so that you can see our listing before it's available for rent. So stay tuned. Yeah. Thank you so much, Linsey. We really, really appreciate you sharing all this information with us.
Of course. Thank you so much. And we're so excited to have your bed and breakfast.
Awesome. Yes. Okay. Thanks so much.
Okay. Bye.
Seeing our B&B, as well as hearing from Linsey Minella. And now you'll get to hear from our board members as well as volunteers on their experiences traveling as vegans, or tips that they might want to share with you that they thought really worked out for them. And we hope that you'll find some golden nuggets in what they share.
Hey there, Ella here, coming at you from Los Angeles. I am on a trip. As you may know, I'm based in Miami, and wanted to just give you some of my travel tips. I've been vegan 27 years, so let me start off by just saying that things have gotten a lot easier. So that's the positive. However, yes, it's still challenging to travel as a vegan, not just as a vegan, but as a healthy vegan. And it takes a little bit of planning. And so I'm gonna try to share some of my top tips for you guys today. First one being thinking about where you're gonna stay and your hotel room. If you can get a spot with a little mini fridge, that's gonna help you out a lot. So that you can then, before you go, do the little planning you need to map out, and I like to use Google Maps, and actually map out vegan friendly and vegan restaurants and grocery stores and markets. So if you go into Google Maps, you can actually, save those spots. And when you're looking for a hotel, also finding a spot that's kind of nearby as best you can, vegan friendly places to be able to eat and get some food to keep in your hotel room, so you don't get into that emergency state where you're starving and you don't know what to do, and you eat something that you're not gonna necessarily be proud of, right? So doing your research ahead of time, Google Maps, you can actually Google, vegan friendly spots. Also using an app. Happy Cow is one of the oldest, one of the OGs when it comes to apps for vegan food and vegan friendly foods, and you get to actually filter if you want 100% vegan or vegan friendly or vegetarian. You can filter that out and it'll give you reviews, and I think they're using it as a social media platform as well, so you can connect with other people via the Happy Cow app. So get those staples and keep them in your hotel room. So even if you are out to eat, let's say I'm here for business, right? So not necessarily choosing all the places I go to eat. So if I do happen to go to a spot and there aren't a lot of choices, I know when I get back to my room, it's not gonna be the end of the world. I'm gonna have something available. So, getting things like veggies and hummus and fruit, instant oatmeal. You can use the hot water from the coffee maker to make yourself some instant oatmeal. And then when you do find a great vegan restaurant, order extra. Anything that maybe, if you don't have a microwave, doesn't need to be reheated to have as a leftover, or even better, you get a room with a microwave and then you can reheat things. So those are the top tips I have. Also, I really like, for the actual plane ride or the actual travel time, to make a really hearty bowl of some sort, so that I'm not snacking or eating ridiculous amounts of trail mix, which just is really calorie dense and ultimately makes me feel like crap if I eat too much of that kind of thing. So I'll make a bowl, and they have these silicone collapsible Tupperware type containers now, so that when you're done, you can collapse it, doesn't take up a bunch of space. And then I'll throw in there, some sort of a legume, chickpeas, black beans, whatever kind of bean that you want. Use that as a base because that's super filling and hearty and satisfying. And then throw in your veggies, maybe some sweet potato. So make a bowl. Just get creative and throw in all your favorite plant goodies that will help you really feel your best and know that you're getting in all your nutrition, and so that you can arrive to wherever you're going feeling energized and feeling great. So those are my top tips. Hope that helps, and see you soon.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Germany, and I've been helping Anne with the Instagram account for Hogs Kisses for a while now, and I'm also vegan and I love food, I love traveling. So Anne asked me, or invited me, to be part of this video and share some tips about vegan travel. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have a few tips for you how you can find the best restaurants to go to when you're traveling, but also if you want to cook your own food, I have a few tips for you how you can find vegan food at the supermarket and how to know what you can buy and what is not vegan. And then in the end, I'm also going to share my favorite places, my favorite cities to go to, because if you're anything like me, if you're crazy like me, I like to plan my travels based on the food that I want to try. So maybe this will inspire you to see some new places and explore some vegan food. Okay, so let's say we're gonna travel to Lisbon. Let's take this as an example. Lisbon, by the way, is a great place to travel to if you like vegan food. So the first place that I would go and look for vegan restaurants is actually Google itself. And what I like to do is I like to type in the place that I'm going to. So this would be Lisbon in the search bar, and then add the term vegan travel blog. This way you will find blog posts by vegan travelers who are sharing their experience, and I find that this is a lot better than just going on the rating restaurant websites, because usually there you find non-vegan restaurants with vegan options, but I like to look for the completely vegan or vegetarian restaurants, and you usually find very good recommendations and pictures on those travel blogs. The second place that I would go to is Instagram. And on Instagram you have a couple of options. You can first use hashtags. So for example, I would type in hashtag vegan Lisbon, or the other way around. You can try both, Lisbon vegan, and just kind of see what people are posting. Usually when it's from a restaurant, they will, either put the location to the restaurant or actually link the Instagram page from the restaurant itself, so you can check that out. And then also for a lot of cities, there's actually Instagram accounts that just post food and restaurant recommendations for the city. So you can just type in the place you're going to, for example, Lisbon vegan, in the search bar, and it'll show you the accounts that share food in Lisbon. And the third place that I love to use to find vegan restaurants is Happy Cow. Happy Cow is like a search engine, but for restaurants that are either vegan, vegetarian, or that have vegan options. So you won't find anything there that doesn't have at least one vegan option, and someone put it in there. So the way that I like to use Happy Cow is to, first of all, of course, you type in the place that you're going to, and then I like to filter for vegan and vegetarian places. If this doesn't turn up anything much, you can toggle the non-veg places as well. But when I'm traveling, I usually like to visit either vegan or